Yo, yo, welcome to the podcast. We're on.
Are
What's
we
up, yeah? What?
really on?
We're on, bro. Yo, I have a
So,
question for you guys. I have a question. So, I've been training really hard. Every session is fucking juicy, right? Get a nice pump. But I feel like I'm stuck. I feel like I haven't made progress. I feel like I've been hitting a plateau on some of my lifts. How can I manage getting past my plateau? What are this?
aren't you a coach? Shouldn't you know what to do?
I don't know, bro. Fuck, bro. Like, it's been so long that I don't know. That's why I get assistance from different coaches.
Damn. Um, I think we should start by defining like what a plateau is. How long have you like what lift are you stuck at? How long have you been stuck at it for? Um, let's start with that, like kind of defining what a plateau is.
So
So
in my head, plateau. You can say, correct me if I'm wrong, coach. Right? Is I've been stuck on the same weight for like RDLs and like the seated hamstring curl for like 6 weeks now. Like it's just like, and every time, bro, it feels fried. Like my legs are shaking, you know. But like I just feel like I haven't made progress on it. So like I've been just stuck on the same weight. I've increased like 1, 2 reps here and there on the hamstring curl. RDL to like 1, 2 reps over the 6 weeks, but I feel like I've been stuck around the same weight. So like, should I change the exercise or?
how long have you been doing RDLs for? Just the past 6 weeks, or like I'm
No, no,
assuming.
no. I've been doing it for like 20 weeks. I've been doing
Okay.
variations of RDLs, right? But like this specific RDL, like the Smith machine RDL, I've been doing consistently 16 weeks.
Sorry, I brain farted. When it comes to things like RDL or compound movements, I would say
Okay.
like you should expect to be progressing in either reps or weight. I'd say at least like 3, 4 weeks, just
Okay.
because especially with how often you've done it. It's not like you're learning the skill now. Now you're kind of recruiting muscle to actually build tissue and build strength on that movement, right? It's not like
Okay.
when you're learning a movement, you're getting a lot of the newbie gains from just learning how to do the movement more efficiently. I think your
Yeah.
body's that now. So with things like that, um, I think that would be considered a plateau. Whereas your hamstring curl machine, I don't know if you can consider that a plateau because I think we were talking about this before. It's just like making progress on that because it's an isolation exercise. You're dealing with a shortened range of motion, right? Or a lengthened range of motion. It's more of an accessory movement. It's kind of harder to make progress on that. So I don't know if I would consider that a plateau, but your RDL is definitely plateaued, right? So just to kind of clarify things, like RDL, I think that should be progressing faster than your uh your hamstring curl machine. Manraj, what do you
O-
think?
Even when you are plateauing, aren't you losing like body fat? Like aren't you cutting right now or no?
A little bit, like a mini cut.
Yeah, so if you're losing body fat, you're losing weight. You're not, and your weight's still the same. You're not actually plateauing, right? Because you're getting stronger pound for pound, right?
Yeah,
So
but
a lot of people,
mentally, like when I'm logging the weight down, I want to beat my numbers. I guess that's a good perspective.
yeah, for sure you want to beat your numbers, but if you're cutting weight, right, then there's only so much you could progress, right? So that's one thing. And then also where you have the exercise. So if you have the exercise towards the end, like you only have so many calories, right? So if you're still progressing the first three, four exercises, but your last couple of exercises are still the same, then you're still, like I said, you're still getting stronger because you're progressing the first few, but you're still maintaining the strength on the last couple exercises, right?
I
So I
got you.
would say even are you even in a phase or even in a point to progress and not plateau, right? So a lot of people they're always worried about plateauing and they're in maintenance or a deficit.
So you can't really make progress in a deficit?
You can.
You can, but it's significantly slower, I would say.
Okay.
I would say, depending on how long you've been training, because you've been training for what, you're 42, so about like 20 years now.
22, bro.
22.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah, my math was off. You started when you're 20, yeah. So you've been training for like a really, really long time. So obviously your progression is gonna be a lot slower, right?
Okay, that makes sense. So say for example, there's another individual, right? His name is Bunty, and he's in a bulk phase. He's trying to gain weight and he's trying to make progress. But he's hit a brick wall on the specific lifts we just talked about, RDL hamstring curl, and he's in a plateau. And one thing Kags mentioned, compound lifts. So if you want to define plateauing on compound lifts, weight matters a little bit more. That's where like weight will define as the weight's heavier, that's gonna define that as a plateau a bit more than like a movement like a short end range, like a hamstring curl. That's where you won't use weight as the plateau metric. You're using more like reps and like intensity sets like that. Is that what you were trying to say? I'm just trying to get it across for Bunty you.
I'd say like both of them, you'd probably expect to gain reps on. It's just that when you're
Okay.
doing compound movements, you can expect to progress faster than something like a isolation movement, like a
And
bicep.
mainly because the range of the movement, like one is more mid, one is
It's
more.
because of the weight, right? So if
Okay.
you're 300, if you're benching 300 pounds, for you to add 5 pounds to 300, right? That's only what? That's only, you know, holy shit. That's only like 1.6% of the weight, right?
I
So
got
it's
you.
easy to make that small jump. But if you're doing a single leg, if you're doing a single leg hamstring curl, you're doing 60 pounds and you're trying to jump to like 70, right?
Mm,
You're trying to increase 10 pounds. That's, you know, that's 16%, right, of the weight. That's why no one progresses on lateral raises, right?
yeah,
You don't see people jumping from like 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 like quick, right?
yeah,
Because it's so hard to progress. Because if you're jumping from 20 to 25 pounds on dumbbell lateral raises, you're jumping 25%,
yeah.
which is a lot of weight, right?
So how would
That's
you progress on
that's
those?
equiv that's equivalent from jumping from a 400-pound bench press to a 500-pound bench press.
I got you. That makes sense. Okay, so how would you progress those lifts, like the movements with lesser weight?
Yo, I have micro plates. That's what I use.
What about like lateral raises? Like how would
Yeah, I
you?
have I have micro plates on like dumbbells.
Okay, but say like individual, like Bunty, obviously he's not gonna go and invest in micro plates. When he's not as advanced as you, right?
Okay.
How can he make progress on lateral raises?
Then I'll just keep chasing the reps.
There you go. Okay,
Yeah.
reps.
So just chase reps. So if you're doing lateral raises, get up to like 20 reps on
Sick.
a certain thing, then increase the weight. Because your 20 reps will go from like 20 to 8 to 10, right? On the next one that you jump,
Yeah.
you lose like a really, really good amount of reps.
Would you increase sets at all?
No, yo, I don't like increasing sets. I know you play around with the sets and volume, do periodization up like that. I don't do it like
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
I
Okay.
just do it
Okay.
based on weight and load. I never
What's
increase
yeah.
my sets or never decrease my sets either.
Okay. What's the reasoning for that? It's just more consistent, like easy to track.
What's the reason I do it?
Yeah.
Um, I think a lot of people that do high volume, their volume gets so high, they just start to do cardio with weights, if that makes sense. Like they're
Okay.
just in the gym, like ripping set after set after set, and like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
intention behind it. That's
That
what.
makes sense.
So
What
like
if
when
like
I
the yeah, continue.
so like when I go and I like hit legs, like I'm only doing 7 sets, right? Like 7 working sets.
Yeah,
Those 7 sets are like really, really hard, right? Whereas I've
yeah,
seen people train legs, and I've done it in the past where I'm doing like 25 sets, but it's
yeah.
like my legs didn't even grow at all.
Mm,
It's like there's no intention behind it, right?
okay.
So
But
it's
if the
more like
intention
quality.
intention was like, okay, this Bunty guy, he's been doing 2 sets of Lowry's is 12, 15 reps, right? He's at the 15 rep for both the sets. Yes, he can increase weight, but he still doesn't see like shoulder growth as consistently as he wants. Adding another set after like 15, 20 weeks, would that be a decent approach?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
Intentionally
that for
increasing.
sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
That even that, like I don't even change that. I just change the order. So depending
Yeah.
on what he's doing the lateral raises. So if
Okay.
the lateral raises, a lot of people do it like fourth or fifth exercise in a push day.
Yeah.
Like I should do it at the starting.
There you go. Yeah,
So
yeah.
instead of
Makes
doing
sense.
like 4 or 5 sets, it's like, yeah, you could do more volume, but it's like
Yeah.
that volume is still gonna be with high fatigue. So that's why like if you see like my push days, I do lateral raises to start with.
Yeah, same,
Yeah.
same.
3
Yeah.
sets lateral raises to start with.
Fine. Okay, so I think we went away from the definition of plateau. Definition of plateau being if either you're stuck on a specific weight, and how long would you guys say would classify as a plateau if you're stuck at a specific weight?
I would say like, 8 to 10 weeks.
8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think people say plateau way too early.
Okay.
And even those 8 to 10 weeks, I would say you're in a plateau if everything's perfect. Like your nutrition's good and you're
There you go.
training with a lot of intention. Like a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm in a plateau. Like, oh, sorry, I've talked to so many people that are like, oh, I hit a plateau. I've been at the bench. My bench has been at the same weight for the last 4 months. I'm like, okay, like, do you track your calories? They're like, no, I just eat whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you're not really at a plateau, right? It's kind of like half a plateau. Like if you just fix your nutrition, like,
Yeah.
you don't have this plateau no more, right?
Yeah. Or like sleep or like,
Yeah, sleep
recovery,
is
shit like
sleep is
that.
another thing as well. But I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
sleep, people are not willing to sacrifice that, right?
Like not
Because
able not
people want to go out and about. They want to do this and that. So I'm like, yo,
Mhm.
just improve your nutrition. That's always the first thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So definition plateau, stuck at a specific weight or like around or stuck in even like growth, maybe, right? And you're like not seeing any physique changes, things like that, for like 8 to 10 weeks. Actually, I don't want to say the physique part, 8 to 10 weeks. The physique takes a long time. So let's keep it at weight, 8 to 10 weeks. I actually have a definition of 3 to 5 weeks, but it depends on the movement. So I changed it based on the movement. If it's like a heavier movement, even though it should increase, I give it a bit more of room, like 8 to 10 weeks. But if it's like smaller movements, for those, like if I'm not making any progress on it, I'll just like tweak it, like you were saying, either the order or I'll add a set or I'll add the rep ranges or like I'll add some intensifiers, like a rest pause or like a drop set here and there. But those I give 5-ish weeks, smaller, because they don't require as much, I guess, resources per se. So you should be able to progress on them a little bit faster. Again, if you're in a progressive phase, like
Yeah.
bulking, eating enough, all that stuff. Yeah, that definition makes sense. Kags? Yeah?
Probably go with like closer to 4 weeks, but it's around the same ballpark. Yeah,
Oh,
just
Bob. Okay, fire. Okay, now we can go into improving the plateau, right? So I think Murad already mentioned one of the things was the calorie tracking and the sleep part. And that's usually, in my opinion, at least in my experience, that's like 99% of plateaus. If you just start eating more consistently and sleeping consistently and just do that actually in a consistent manner, not just fucking in peaks and valleys, you'll barely even hit any plateaus because a lot of people never reach like their part where they're lifting so hard with such high effort that they're actually at a plateau, right? So I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, I would say so. I would agree.
Yeah.
I don't think a
Okay.
lot of people even hit that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I've like maybe in the past like 5, 6 weeks, I don't even have hit the consistent effort because I've had a couple of weeks that are mad wavy, right? So I've been
Really?
around the same ballpark of like weights, but I've progressively got an effort improvement. I've probably hit like I've increased by like 5, 6 reps on all movement, which is good, but weights have been pretty similar. But like I'm down like 2, 3 pounds, so that's a win in my head. Um, but it's just like the weddings and shit like that, which is fine. I kind of managed certain things around that. But yeah, okay, so that's number one. Number two, okay, say for example, someone's fucking recovery is on point, like Manraj sleep is on point. Manraj is fucking everything is good. He's just making progress week by week by week. Then you hit a fucking brick wall for like 8 to 10 weeks. What adjustments can you make in your training specifically to start improving the plateau? And say like you're still gaining weight because you're eating a surplus, your sleep is good, but you're just stuck on certain lifts, like they feel like dry or not, progressing anymore.
Mm, I would think, depends on the situation. Either what I've noticed, sometimes people get like too fat to the point where they get like sluggish, like they overdo the bulk,
Okay.
and they like, and then their like gym performance starts to go down. That's one thing. Or like if they've actually been training hard for 10 consistent weeks straight, right, which is extremely uncommon, right? Then I would take like a deload week. I would do
Okay.
that. Or I'll just replace the exercise that's with something that's very, very similar. So like
There you
dumbbell incline press to a machine incline press. And then just keep doing that until you hit like a brick wall as well.
go. Okay.
yeah, I'd probably say something similar. But when you said like ideal recovery, ideal nutrition. I don't think a lot of people get to that point where they have 10 consistent weeks of having that. And
For
when
sure.
you don't have that, typically like your ability to need to deload might have to come a little bit sooner because things aren't ideal there, right? So like if someone were to get 10 solid weeks of training with good nutrition, good recovery, good sleep, whatever, they might be able to wait till 10 weeks, whereas the other person, because they haven't been taking care of all the other stuff, they might need to deload a little bit earlier. So just kind of managing fatigue, looking out for those symptoms like, am I still getting a pump? How's my energy levels throughout the day? How do my sessions feel overall? Is it just like I'm feeling stuck, or is it like I feel like I'm like hating the gym, or I'm not progressing on everything, right? At that point, then you want to really take a big step back. It's like, oh shit, like address trading, address nutrition recovery, and maybe pull back on the volume a little bit for a bit, maybe like a week or so, and then go back into it like with something ready to build. Because typically, if you're going at it for that long, you might just be frying your system out, right? But most people don't get to the point where it's like they have 8 to 10 weeks of consistent training. If that
Yeah,
makes
that's a
sense.
good.
And also I think a lot of people just say they hit a plateau out of boredom, right? Because
Yeah,
a lot of people they don't want to really like a lot of people they don't want to do the same thing like month after month after month after month, even though that's gonna get you like the most amount of progress. People want
yeah,
change, right? Especially if we're
yeah,
talking about people that just want to get in like good shape and not
yeah,
have like crazy like elite level physiques or like strength, right?
yeah.
That's
That
another
makes sense.
big thing. Because like I've been doing the same workout for fucking bro. I think I've been doing the same workout since January of 2023. So it's been
Yeah,
almost a year and a half. And the workout I was doing before this in COVID, I did the same workout in my garage for 2 years. And I was progressing week after week, right?
yeah,
And it was literally like cuts, bulks, maintaining.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
think people just get bored of it and they're like, oh, okay, like, and even when they get bored of it, they don't have like that mental capacity to push as well, right? Because they're so bored of the exercise.
yeah. That makes
Sometimes
sense.
I think that I think they have a mental plateau as well.
What do you mean by that?
Just mental health, you know. They just get
Yeah,
stressed out. They get stressed
important.
out, they get bored. They're not stimulated in the gym.
That makes sense. That's important, yeah. Like a lot of people that I know, like people I've worked with, like they need some variety in the workouts or they need some change ups here and there. And one of the things I do every time like stagnation happens, obviously this conversation comes up of like, is it the recovery nutrition or is it actually boredom? And you're just like kind of bored of the workout split, right? Like what is it? And then you tell them, it's like, okay, bro, this boring shit is gonna give you the longest term reward, right? And that's gonna come at the end of whatever days. Like Manraj, you do this when you post your 800, 5,000 days out, right? For your workouts. Like you're gonna keep doing the same shit, but people are like, yo, what the fuck? Is this gonna do the same shit for 800 days? That's crazy. Most people can't actually do that, right? Or they probably can, but they don't see the vision with it. You have a clear vision at those 800 days, right? But for them, like sometimes, like, yo, you're gonna give up some gains, but if you just want good shape and not really going to that next level, then one of my methods is I usually change up exercise order, right? So like the stimulus changes, and then like I just fuck around and then throw in like more intensifiers like drop sets, rest pause sets, and then yes, like you were mentioning, if it's like a 10 to 12 week where like you still haven't changed or like or basically plateaued on the lift, then add another variation of it. So like dumbbell press to a machine, cable, whatever it is, and people find like that re-motivates them or whatever, and then it kickstarts their effort consistently again, so they feel like in mentally they're making more progress again. So that is the
Yeah.
approach if someone's going through that part. Yeah, just I play around with the exercise order, rep ranges, sometimes even like volume, fuck around with it a little bit, and I feel like long-term continuity is more important than like just fucking grinding it through. If you're not enjoying your workouts, it's gonna be a little it's not going to be a fun journey if especially because like if you're just trying to be in shape and like look good, you know, and
Yeah.
not really trying to compete. So
Yeah. Plus a lot of people go to the gym for like fun as well, right?
exactly. Yeah,
They
yeah,
even like get in shape. So if their fun dips a little bit, they're like, oh fuck this. Like, you know, I've hit plateaus and they'll just change up random things, right?
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. That's why like there's so many I don't you guys probably know so many guys that come to the gym and they just jump from exercise to exercise, just do random shit every single day.
Yeah.
But it's like they're not really there to like
Yeah.
progress, right? They're
Yeah,
just
yeah,
there to like just work out, right?
yeah. Yeah. I think understanding it will like most people don't understand it, right? Most people are like, what do you mean? Like, I'm gonna do the same shift for fucking, you've been doing it for 4 years, 5 years? That makes no sense, right? You have to keep shocking the muscle or whatever, right? But obviously, science and shit shows like you don't have to do that. You have to progress the tension on the muscle. So most people don't realize that concept, right? They're like, how can I get a juicy pump this session? Which I trained like for like fucking 10 years like that. And now my last 12 years, I've improved a little bit. So,
Bro, you know
yeah,
what's crazy? The workout split I'm doing right now, I'll probably do that for like the next 2 years, bro.
why not?
That's gonna be
It's
mental.
working. Yeah. It gets scary at some points though, man. Certain lifts, like I think about them for like, you get like anxious, yeah.
Bro,
How am I gonna get there? That's gonna be fried.
literally, bro, every leg day I've had since like
Oh
May,
yeah. Yeah.
bro, I felt like throwing up, bro. Even yesterday I trained legs, bro. It shit was so bad.
Yeah, it's deadly.
Yeah, it does not get fun, yo.
Yeah. It's like a weird fun, bro. Like, you know when you get lightheaded, you feel dizzy after a set? It's like it doesn't feel good in the moment, but like, yo, that was kind of sick, you know? Like I
Yeah.
do hip extensions today. Right when I got off the hip extension, I was like, yo, what the fuck? I
Hip
was with Jake.
extension?
Like I ended the workout, you know, like the 45-degree hip extension? Like back
Oh
extension,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
just with
yeah.
the hip movement.
Hyperextension, yeah,
Like just no low back movement, just hinging a little bit.
yeah.
And like, cause like your blood goes all to your head in the bottom, right? So got out of that and I was like, yo, it was fucking sick. But it was a weird kind of pain, yeah.
No, that shit does not get fun, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Even yesterday I was fucking squatting at Mayfield Good Life. I went to some guy, I'm like, yo, like, can you give me like a spot? And I gave him
Yeah.
a fist bump and he's like, bro, like, why are you shaking so much? I'm like, oh my God, bro. I'm like, just come spot me, bro. Like, why are you getting me more nervous?
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Shaking before the set.
yeah, I fucking hate that
That's
shit.
fucked. That's
That's
fucked.
crazy. For people that don't know, like I've seen Manraj just pass out
Yeah,
after he
bro.
When?
like laid. Bro, at Freebird, remember that one time you had
Oh,
this
I
guy?
felt like, bro, oh my God, I felt like throwing up so much, bro.
That was because that was your fucking deload week and you said fuck you, coach. That's why.
Yeah, bro, I just wrote like, I'm like, yo, I feel a little bit tired. He's like, let's do a deload. I'm like, bro, I'm okay. Like, I'll feel fine, right?
But you did it,
Yo, it's the weather, bro. It's for sure the weather. I swear, bro, it's the weather.
yeah. Let's get
Bro,
fried.
every workout I've had since
Guys, if you're hitting a plateau, it's the fucking weather, yo. Stop watching this shit.
What
no,
the
not
fuck?
no, I'm saying like why I want to throw up.
I know. I'm just
Yeah,
joking.
because like
It was
even
hot in that gym though.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was about to say, bro, that shit was mental that day, bro. The AC's
Yeah,
broken.
they seen that week.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
that
feeling
makes sense.
super fucked up, bro. Right,
Yeah.
so that's why.
But yeah.
But
Okay,
only
so black to plateau. Did we cover everything? So
Think so.
define it as a weight if you're kind of stuck around the same ballpark, 8 to 10 weeks, right? And that's considering your recovery is on point, so your sleep and nutrition, right? And that's usually not the case in most people's lives. So if you're not doing that, first do that step before just crying about your lift, right? And then secondly, just try to think what Manraj just said is like, are you trying to you're thinking you're in a plateau is because you're bored of doing the same shit, or is it because you're actually in a plateau? Okay. And then
the
if you
most, bro,
yeah,
we forgot to say the most obvious one. A lot
yeah,
of the times people hit a plateau is because
yeah,
they're doing way too much in the gym. So
yeah,
one thing you can do is actually reduce some of your training and
there you
see if
go.
you perform better.
Yeah. I think Kags mentioned the deload shit. I think he was saying like if you I guess yeah,
No, I'm just
he
saying in general, right? Like how many guys have messaged you? They're like, bro, I'm doing 5 sets of incline bench, five
yeah,
sets of
yeah,
incline
yeah.
dumbbell, 5 sets of
That's
flies,
true.
5 sets of push-ups, and it's like, bro,
Yeah,
why are you doing 45 sets of chest and then
yeah,
shoulders and then their triceps?
yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a different podcast about how much volume should you do in the gym. Because like that goes in the conversation of recovery, right? You're doing so much that you can't recover from.
Yeah. But
But
that's
like
why they're hitting that plateau.
yeah, but if
Not
you end
for
up eating
recovery.
5,000 calories, right, and you do that much, you might be able to recover from it, right? But most people don't, obviously. That's the point here. But another couple ways it could be like we talked about changing the exercise, the different variation of it, change the reps and sets, or move the exercise around. Um, and other than that, you should be able to break through. I think we can do a different one on like bench and squat because I think that's different percentage wise.
I'd
And
say
then
pre-workout.
yeah.
Sorry?
Pre-workout nutrition, making sure you're eating before workouts, like especially when you're going into it. It's like don't
There
go
you
in
go.
the day before. I think that
Yeah,
makes it, especially if you're cutting. So if you're in a deficit and you're trying to break through, I think that makes a much bigger difference than if you're bulking. But
Yeah.
plateauing, make sure to eat on those days before you go train.
Yeah.
Another thing is you could actually train with someone or work out with someone that's ahead of you.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they've been working out for 3 months. They don't even train hard at all. I mean, no one does when you're like 3 months into training
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, I've hit a plateau. And you see them benching and they're stopping like shy of like 7 reps, right?
Yeah.
So you only know what you know, and you could only compare it to things that you've experienced, right? So train with someone ahead of you, and you actually know what training hard is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess we did cover this in like slightly, but was the whole idea of like gaining the skill of the movement first and then actually getting stronger on it. So like we mentioned the 8 to 10 weeks, but that's you on a plateau after you've been already doing that movement for like 16, 20 weeks where you've like already learned the movement and then you've actually started to get stronger on it and you have the mind muscle connection with it. You're actually stimulating gains. And then with that kind of lift, that kind of skill, now you're hitting a plateau. Don't just be like, I just fucking started this movement for 4 weeks, 8 weeks. I had a plateau and I'm going to change it. Make sure you gain the skill and then you actually know how to use it. And then, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's,
I would say plateaus are more common for people that are a lot more experienced, right? So like if you've been working out for less than 2 years, like you should never hit a plateau. You could just keep going and getting stronger and stronger and stronger,
yeah.
right? Unless you're in a severe like calorie deficit or you're cutting a lot of weight.
There's so many different scenarios, bro. Like, you know, like those people too, you probably know so many people that like, they're trying to max their bench every single week. And they're
Yeah.
like, yo, bro, I've been stuck on 305 bench. I'm max out every week. I don't know why it's not going up. You're frying your system every single week and you're just bouncing it, hip thrusting it with like legs up in the sky and
We,
shit.
we we don't know anyone that benches like
Yeah,
that.
we don't know
We don't know
anyone.
any people that bench
Yeah.
like that
But
that
if you're
just
doing that, stop trying to max out every fucking week.
we don't know anyone that records videos like this benching.
Mm.
No, you gotta just cut out the hips.
Cut out the hips.
Yeah, you have to just show the bench video like this.
Okay. Does that answer all the plateau questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
All right, guys, break through your plateau and conquer the world.
that was the most chat GPT-esque ending ever.